Of the season in a 27-24 win over the AFC leading Colts, Pittsburgh forced 6 turnovers, including causing Daniel Jones to lose 2 fumbles, be completely discombobulated. Their losing streak comes to an end. Listen to this.
We're all human, and I think those guys felt, pretty upset, had a little red ass about what's been going on, so I'm proud of them, the way they came back and responded.
It's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes in this business. It's nothing dramatic, it's really not. We're still the same group that stunk it up last week. That's football.
Oh, I love Mike Tomlin. He always knows how to keep this thing real, right? The Steelers looked really good. Oh, we got a Steelers fan in the building. Love to see it. Love to see it. Their defensive effort, though, against a very good Colts offense was impressive. But were you more impressed with the Steelers' D or more concerned with the way that Colts offense looked?
I was shocked by how the Steelers' defense looked because they've been an absolute embarrassment. There's no doubt about that. 4 times this year, giving up over 30 points. And then I'm looking at the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm still not enamored. That's why that Steeler fan needs to sit down and not get too excited, because the reality is that Aaron Rodgers, 24 of his 32 passes were for under 10 yards. Dipping and dunking and all. I get all of that. The Steelers, DK Metcalf had 6 yards on 2 receptions. Michael Irvin, I'm looking at you. DK Metcalf had 6 yards on 2 receptions. I mean, I love DK, but that's an embarrassing statistic for a receiver. You got Jaylen Warren. He's averaging 1.9 yard a carry yesterday. The Steelers averaged, 1.7 yards per carry rushing the football yesterday. I'm not excited about this. Now, Cam Hayward called out the defense, said that they didn't play with any kind of toughness against the Packers and all of this other stuff. I get that part. And so they showed up and they showed some pride. But if you could do it against an Indianapolis Colts team that was a number 1 offense, okay, with a Jonathan Taylor that was a stud, and we were talking about him as an MVP candidate, all right? Even though Daniel Jones looked awful, sacked, 3 interceptions, sacked twice, turned the ball over 5 times. We understand, even with him and these Indianapolis Colts, that was an aberration. That is not something you should expect to see again from the Indianapolis Colts. I'm praying that we see some semblance of that from the Steelers defense moving forward. At the very least, be opportunistic, because you haven't done anything in over a month.
So when you look at this stat line, it's 6 turnovers. Playmaker, Danny O. And you say to yourself, we only lost by 7 points?
Exactly.
That's something that you have to start to say to yourself. It's like, okay, that's blowout numbers. That's supposed to be a 40 burger, to say the least. But now you start to really look on the other side. They did not lead in the stat line with total offense. I've said it from time to time since the beginning of the season. The Pittsburgh Steelers needs big questions, or have big questions at the amenity position from the receivers. Mm-hmm. They have no amenities. Mm-hmm. Not DK. DK Metcalf, for me, is a person that's the biggest head scratcher, because you say to yourself, he looks the part, he's well and capable, it's just not producing for what it's worth. Obviously, understanding the type of quarterback that A-Rod is, and you start to see the stat line of 2 receptions, 6 yards, impossible.
Yeah, but for me, that I put that on the coaching staff in Pittsburgh. Now, Seattle ran DK a different way. He's a big guy. When I remember him coming out of the combine, he's a big guy that had transition issues, going in and out of cuts. You got to let him run deep routes. When he's in Seattle, he ran deeper comebacks.
Yeah.
Because he was so fast. Once you get going, it doesn't matter how quick you turn your hips. You got to get out of there. And now he has more room and more time to slow down and break down. Listen, I'm more impressed with the Steelers defense, because that's the defense I've been used to seeing and expect them to be. But I'm going to tell you something. If you guys think, okay, Indiana Jones is gone and Daniel Jones is back, and you think this is about to happen every game in Indy, that ain't going down. That's a real team in Indy. I mean, a scary team in Indy. They have everything, and Indiana Jones has revived his career. He can play football. It was just playing in New York, where it's hard to succeed as a quarterback. In Indy, it's a little different. I think Indy will be fine.
I still believe in the Colts to make the AFC title game more than I do believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no team in the NFL right now. There's no team in the NFL right now that is benefiting off of turnovers like the Steelers. If they get turnovers, they play good defensively. They've beaten the Patriots and they've beaten the Colts because they've gotten 11 turnovers in that game.
But if they don't,
you can get after them. So like, I'm not worried about Indy. I think still Indy is one of the more difficult offenses to match up against. And everyone's going to overreact to the Daniel Jones turnovers. One, T.J. Watt makes a great play. He's going to strip that ball from every quarterback outside of like Josh and Patrick. Number two, the bad interception to Peyton Wilson, yes. The other interception is just a bad break, bro. Like ball gets tipped up in the air off a pass rusher, becomes interception. So I'm not going to overreact to that. If the Steelers get takeaways, they could beat anybody. If they don't, they can get beat by anybody.
Well, damn it, they don't usually get takeaways, so let's get that out of the way first. Secondly, they were playing without 4 different safeties yesterday. Okay, Highsmith showed up. Obviously, T.J. Watt showed up. Sawyer showed up. Wilson showed up. We give credit where credit is due. But there's a reason that Steeler fans actually held a funeral outside of the stadium for their defense before the game yesterday, because that's how awful they have been. The question is, do we believe that Steelers defense that showed up has really corrected the error of their ways?
No, they're
one-trick pony.
They got to get takeaways.
That's it.
They're not a dominant defense. They're a takeaway defense.
And a takeaway defense is a championship defense. I've been hearing people spew mess. Defense win championships. No, it doesn't. Points win championships, and a takeaway defense gives you the opportunity to get points. That's what. So Pittsburgh has a chance.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
You need to say a scoring defense wins
championships. That's a lie.
He's right.
Our offense is going to propel the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. You ain't going to no damn playoffs, let alone a Super Bowl. Stop it. Go to commercial break. You ain't going to no damn playoffs. Stop it.
I'm with that.
But I disagree with you that Dak's got to protect the football.
Disagree with me, Danny?
Dude, you're not gonna
do that.
You can't. With this defense, you can't be careful with the ball.
Thank you.
You got to be overly aggressive.
Go.
You got to put. Yes, you do.
See, that's what they want you to think. Dak Quavius.
He needs to score 40.
You do not have to do that.
Yes, he does.
See, that's the pressure. It's going to happen naturally.
But that's real.
You have so many stars and studs on that offensive side of football. Just let it. And well, as my dog Stephen Anthony say, it has to be fluid. Let it flow. Let it flow. When you start to force the football on the Dallas side for Dak, it's not.
But Kim, he doesn't have a choice.
But it's not a by choice. This is by force. You just talked about the defense. They gonna give up 38. We got to go get 40. Ain't no getting around that. You understand?
It's not a recipe for success.
All I'm telling you is this. If they put up 40, being down by 20 is a different style of play. If we score, they score. That's a different style of play. If they score, we score. That's a different style of play. That's all I'm saying. You cannot put Dak Quavius in a position that's going to stretch.
Kim, he is in that position.
I understand that. I understand that. But it's a firepower of a score system that's happening. What I'm saying is, do not put him in position where you're down by multiple scores. That's a different formula of ball.
That's not. Nobody puts Dak in that position. The question is, Dak got to make sure he doesn't put himself in that position, and every time they get that damn ball, they have to go score because they know the other team's going to score. It's not us putting pressure on him. It's him have to put pressure on him. If you get the ball first, go get 7 points because the other team is going to get 7 points. Each time the Cowboys get the ball, they have to go on the football field with the mindset we must score. And they have the ability to do that because CeeDee Lamb takes care of everything 20 yards in.
He's right.
And George Pickens takes care of everything up top.
They didn't do it. You know what? You ain't gonna try this. You ain't gonna try this with me. You ain't gonna try this with me. You gonna stop